Welcome to Are You Quizzing Me? I'm Vineet Nair with my co host Aditya Kashyap. This is a quizzing trivia podcast show. Join us as we dive deep into history, science, sport, pop culture, and so much more. Let's get quizzing.
And we're back for episode number 39 of your favorite quizzing podcast show. Are You Quizzing Me? Let's start off today's episode with an audience question, the answer for which I will reveal at the end of the episode. Henry Irving was the first actor to be awarded a knighthood. His troupe performed season after season at the Lyceum Theatre, establishing himself and his company as representative of English classical theatre. His manager, whose main claim to fame during his lifetime was being Henry Irving's manager, is extremely famous today. He was a writer, and in one of his works, the titular character was partly based on the actor. Who was the manager, and which character did he base off Henry Irving? Let me repeat the question. Henry Irving was was the first actor to be awarded knighthood. His manager, whose main claim to fame during his lifetime was being Henry Irving's manager, is extremely famous today. His manager was a writer, and in one of his novels, the titular character was partly based on the actor. Who was this manager, and which character did he base off Henry Irving? Wait till the end of the episode to hear the answer to this audience question. And in the meantime, let's start off today's proceedings with the question that Aditya had asked last week. So, Aditya, what was the question?
I had asked in our previous episode about Gen Z parlance and Gen Z quirks. I had asked why, if you ever send a message to a person from Gen Z and it was in all uppercase letters, would that be considered not cool? And do you know, Vineet, what does it mean when they say no cap?
Not particularly. I'm guessing no capital letters. I have no clue.
No, no cap basically means no lie, or they're not kidding, or they're not lying. So if
Okay.
I told you, Vinny, that I love you, no cap, it means that I truly, absolutely, unequivocally love you, right? So
Okay.
if you did send a message with all uppercase letters, your message is all caps, which is basically all lies, and hence that would not be okay. And no Gen Z person would stand by such lying.
Uh, that weirdly actually makes a little bit of sense.
I'm telling you, I'm basically Gen Z at heart, Vineet. I want to be
Yes, I
accepted. I
can
want to be
see that.
young.
For those people, obviously, for those listening on our podcast, you can't see that this extremely Gen Z person is wearing a T-shirt with the word "pivot" written on it. If you don't know what that means, and when I say pivot, if you don't get it, it means that you're definitely Gen Z.
Probably. Yeah. So, who's starting us off today, Vineet?
I'll do the honors for today. Okay, so the first question for today is as follows. For a very short period of time, specifically just a few months of the year 1960, Gillettes were a unit of measurement. Gillette, as in, the razor blade company, Gillette. It was, however, soon replaced with a more precise unit. Of what were Gillettes a unit?
Was it only for a brief while that it was used?
Yes, it was for a very brief while.
What era was this, or what years were this?
This was 1960.
Does it have to do anything with shaving?
No, absolutely nothing to do with shaving.
Oh, very interesting. Oh wow, that's a tough one. I can't make any educated guess here. Also, trying to think of 1960s. I'm trying to.
Let me put it this way. In those days, Gillette was known for their razor blades. The old safety razor blades that I think my dad used to use for shaving. Those kind of
Yes.
razors, not the fancy multi-bladed packaged things that come today. The small packets of razor blades. So that is what you should be thinking of, and it was used as a unit.
Okay, then maybe Gillette because they were razor blades. I'm gonna say thickness, and because it's the 60s, maybe something to do with early computing, like the thickness of a wire or something.
No, not no 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 no. It's not that. We're not thinking of thickness, and it's not got to do with computing. I'll give you a clue. You definitely know what this is, uh, because you have an engineering background. I would be very surprised if you've never even played with one.
Engineering background, played with one. Does it have to do? All I can think of are those circuit boards that we used to get, that we used to mess around with and had to create things out of. Is that even remotely close to the answer?
No, 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 nothing to do with that. Nothing to do with that. Nothing to do with that.
Wow. No,
Um,
I'm
okay,
very lost right now.
okay. Let me give you a name. Maybe that'll help. The person who used this as unit, at least at the beginning, Theodore Mayman.
You say it like I should know who this person is, but I have no idea who this human being is. So I'm nowhere closer to
Okay,
getting the
okay.
answer.
No, because I thought because he's the father of something. He's quite important because his invention practically is seen everywhere. It's in all kinds of industries, manufacturing. I wouldn't be surprised even if there are a few of those in your home right now for different uses.
I am completely stumped. I have no idea.
Okay, so I've run out of clues to give you. Okay, the in 1960, for a very short period of time, Theodore Mayman defined the strength of a laser beam by the number of Gillette razor blades it could cut through.
Oh, that's kind of cool. That's nice.
Yeah, so when lasers were first invented, the power of the first laser was measured in Gillettes, and then later they were like, okay, this is too arbitrary, so let's find a better unit, and they went into the established units of watt and joule and whatnot. So yeah, so Gillettes were once a unit.
That's pretty cool. All right, that was a pretty great start, Vineet. I love that little trivia. And as classic segues on Are You Quizzing Me Go, I'm going to make one of those now. Since you spoke about pioneering efforts in technology, my next question has to do with
Hmm.
exactly that. These are going to be the first words that were spoken on or used in different technologies over the years. And I'm going to tell you what those words were. Tell me which technology it was.
Oh, that's fun. This is fun. Okay, hit me, hit me.
Okay. So the first one I'm going to do is Joel, this is Marty. And then there is one more sentence, but I won't give you that sentence yet.
Joel, this is Marty, and this was used. So obviously these are audio mediums, right? Because you're saying words, audio or audio visual mediums.
Yes.
So I'm going to guess this is television broadcast.
No, I'll give you when this was made. 3rd April
Okay,
1973 from a New York pavement.
from a New York pavement, a pavement in New York. Is it the first? No, the mobile phones came in the 80s, right? Car phones and mobile phones came in the 80s, right? Or was it prior to that? I'm not sure, but
Yeah, you're close enough. So you basically got it. It is a
okay. Oh,
first call from a truly portable mobile phone.
oh, nice. This was in okay. We had portable mobile phones in the 70s.
1973.
Wow. I always thought that, we had car phones.
Yeah, no, this is actually the first time ever that it happened, but I'm sure it took a very long time to for it to become mainstream. So that's probably why we remember it as being later. So I'll tell you about it actually a little bit. Uh, this was a 45-year-old research director who was leading a team at Motorola, and he made the historic call using a prototype. And the person he called it was Joel Joel Enger, who was his counterpart at AT&T. And it was apparently a very short exchange because the whole exchange goes, Joel, this is Marty. I'm calling you from a cell phone, a real handheld portable cell phone. That's what he said. And apparently there was silence at the other end. Martin Cooper, Marty, suspects that Joel was grinding his teeth.
Oh, that's a nice one. That's a nice one.
So that is the first ever portable phone call. Okay, let's do a few more of these because I have a bunch of these.
Wow. Okay.
What hath God wrought?
Okay. Given the language, and you said, is this a radio transmission?
No. This is May 24th, 1844. Baltimore.
18, 1844. Was it the telegram?
Close enough, yes. America's first telegraph message was transmitted by Samuel Morse of the Morse code
Samuel Morse.
fame
Okay. Uh-huh.
from the Supreme Court room in the Capitol to his assistant Alfred Vail in Baltimore on May 24th, 1844. And the message read, "What hath God wrought?"
That seems a very serious message for something like it's just a telegraph. I mean, seriously, why was he that what had God wrought? I would actually I would expect something like that to come out of Oppenheimer, after seeing a nuclear blast or something, but this seems a little Samuel Morse, man, drama queen.
Indeed, indeed. Okay, the next one. This one should be easy. Maybe you've heard of this one. Mr. Watson, come here. I want to see you.
Oh, that would be Alexander Graham Bell.
That is Alexander Graham Bell, March 10th, 1876. It was a telephone call that Graham Bell made to his assistant, Thomas Watson. Mr. Watson, come here. I want to see you. Okay.
Nice.
Don't be scared. It is me. Love you and miss you.
Don't be scared. It's me. Love you and miss you.
Yes.
Is this something from space? No, I mean that would be obviously not, because then there'd be like mission control.
Yes, with a lot of static.
So that's not that. Yeah.
And there would be at least one Houston
Or
in there
maybe
somewhere.
ground control to Major Tom, but no, this is but okay, just hit me again with the what does it say again?
Don't be scared. It is me. Love you and miss you.
Is it like a greeting card? But then why would somebody be afraid of a greeting card? Why would somebody be scared?
It was the first message on a Ouija board. No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding. Though it really sounds like it should be one.
Oh yeah, really? It would. I'm that.
Speaking from the
First message,
beyond.
not keyboard.
No, it is not the
From
first
the
message on a
beyond, yes,
Ouija board.
to beyond the veil.
No, this is
Okay.
actually a lot more fun and very sweet, actually. It is the first documented AOL instant message, and it was sent by the future AOL vice
Oh,
chairman, Ted Leonis, on January 6, 1993, to his wife.
and was there any particular reason why Mrs. Leonis would be scared?
I'm not sure why I should be scared, but I guess it was the first time that somebody would be sending a message, or you don't know who it is exactly that is sending a
Or
message.
or she might have just been petrified by the AOL messenger sound.
Oh, that could be very much the case here. But her response was sweet as well because she said, "Wow, this is so cool."
Yeah, a little underwhelming. The guy practically spends his entire life developing an instant messaging service, and her response is, "Yeah, that's cool."
When are you coming back? Pick
Okay.
up some milk and eggs. Yeah.
Stop by the grocery on your way home. We need eggs.
All right. Merry Christmas.
I'm gonna go with television broadcast this time because it's Christmas.
That's a good guess, but no, in this case, it is the first ever SMS.
Oh, the first ever short message. Okay, nice.
Yeah, but it
Merry
was sent from a
Christmas.
computer to a cell phone, and it was sent
Okay.
to Richard Jarvis, who was at a Christmas party near Vodafone headquarters in England in December 1992. The first commercial text message was sent from Los
Hmm.
Angeles by Brennan Hayden, at the time an engineer for the Irish wireless company Aldiscan, in June 1993,
Hmm.
and that message was burp, literally burp. Oh, this one is a classic, but you'll need to know the translation of it to guess it. I'm going to tell you what the original is,
Okay.
and I don't know, I'm probably just mispronouncing the hell out of it, but I'm going to try it anyways. Tere Kasa Kuled Mind. This is in Estonian
Hmm.
in April 2003.
In Estonia, we've already covered instant messaging. We've covered SMSs. Is this the first multimedia message? But then
No,
that would be a picture or a piece of music, right? No, it's too old for what's. Wait, is it something on the first social media website or something?
nope. I'll tell you what the
In
translation is, which is
Estonian.
probably going to help you a little bit. Hello, can you hear me?
The first VoIP call.
Close enough. It is the first Skype call. It's the first ever Skype
Oh,
call.
Skype call. Okay, yeah, yeah.
First ever sentence spoken on Skype
Why
was
Estonian? I thought Skype.
was in Estonian by an unknown member of the original development team. So his name is not
Oh,
even
okay.
known to history anymore. But
He is unknown member.
he said what basically every Skype call starts with. Hello, can you hear me?
Yeah, can you hear me? Yes. Hey, it's the way our every single one of our podcasts also start. It's that we don't record it and
Pretty much,
put it
pretty
out.
much.
Every time we start, we're like, "Hello, can you hear me? I can see you. Can you hear me?" Yeah.
And it goes on for quite a while. Okay, I'm gonna do two more. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. You ain't heard nothing yet.
Wait a minute. Wait a minute. You ain't heard nothing yet. Yet. The iPhone.
No. This is in 1927.
1927. I need a clue if you are up to giving one.
This is the first ever word spoken, the first ever sentence spoken in a full length talkie in 1927. The movie was
Like
called
a
The Jazz
walkie-talkie.
Singer. No, no, the talkies,
Oh, okay.
talkies
A
film,
talk. Okay, motion picture. Okay, this is talking.
motion
Okay,
picture.
so this was the first ever from a. Okay, wow. I'm guessing that must have been pretty, you know, impactful for the audience to hear somebody speak. Until then, they already all they heard were orchestra music, which was played live whenever there was a silent movie going on.
Exactly. And I love the fact that the first thing that was said was, wait a minute, you ain't heard nothing yet.
Very meta. Very meta.
Very meta. It is from the 1927 movie The Jazz Singer. And apparently the line was unscripted.
Improv.
Improv it is, yes. Okay, the last one I'm going to do is I'm going to ask you, in fact, to tell me what do you think the first ever email was?
The first ever email. Email was, I think, it was done for the military, right?
It was by this company called BBN Technologies. It was by this guy called Ray Tomlinson for the ARPANET.
Okay. Which was a defense network.
You're right, yeah. They were literally side by side, but they were connected only through the ARPANET. And that was the first ever
Okay.
message sent. What do you think the message was?
See, in situations like this, I always wish I could come up with a very clever answer, but for some reason, nothing ever comes to me. And all I can think of the most banal things. I don't know. Hi, did you get this? Testing, testing.
Or maybe, hey, do you want to grow your penis by 6 inches? Um,
See, that's the kind of thing I wish I could come up with, on the spot. Never happens. It happens like 10 minutes later after we recorded the episode, and I'm like, oh, I could have said something clever there. But no, nothing. But that's a pretty good one.
no, but that's not the actual
No,
answer.
nothing yet.
Uh, I would
Obviously
say,
not.
look down at your keyboard.
Oh, it's a QWERTY.
Yeah, very close. Yes, it is QWERTY UIOP, the entire first row.
Ah,
Yeah,
okay.
that's the
Nice,
first
nice.
ever email.
Very unimaginative, but still. Would it have killed him to say hi, hello world or something?
Hello World would have been great. And the first spam message was sent in 1978 to 400 users by this gentleman called Gary, and he was advertising a new line of microcomputers in that. So it wasn't too long after email was invented that spam also started. Yeah. And that's all my questions for the pioneering works in all of these different fields.
Solid set, man. Solid set. Let me move on to something completely unrelated. So I have a format which I've used in a quiz recently. It's nothing fancy. It's a kind of step ladder question in which I give you clues regarding a person. A very obscure clue first, which it goes for more points, and then a slightly less obscure, and the final clue being something that everybody has heard of. Right. So I have a few questions of that particular format, but it's become between us, so there's no points. It's just can you get the answer? Right. It's all is who am I? So it's from a first person perspective. So you have to guess who this person is. Aside from being one of the giants of literature, I am the 26th most translated author in the world. I composed over 100 musical pieces. I played the piano, the penny whistle, and the boom flageolet, and wrote or arranged music for these and other instruments. Who am I?
Is it some? Actually, no. Go ahead. Give me the next clue.
Okay. Though born in Scotland, I died at the young age of 44 and was buried on top of Mount Weya in Samoa, where I had spent the last years of my life. Who am I?
Oh, at the age of 44, you said.
Yes.
But you didn't mention which year, right?
No.
Beethoven died pretty young. Mozart definitely died pretty young.
The first clue, I would repeat the first clue again.
Okay.
Aside from being one of the giants of literature, I am
Oh,
the
literature as
26th
well.
most translated author in the world. I composed over 100 musical pieces. Was born in Scotland, died at the young age of 44, buried on top of Mount Weah in Samoa, where I had spent the last years of my life.
Born in Scotland, literature, music, died relatively young, buried in Samoa. I want. I know Ernest Hemingway was.
No, it's not Hemingway.
Hemingway also didn't compose any music, so that doesn't make any sense. I don't think I have any other educated guesses to make right now, so go ahead, give me another clue.
Okay, clue number three. I famously gifted my birthday to a friend's daughter.
Gifted my birthday to a friend's daughter.
Yes. It's my favorite fact about this person.
That is lovely, but also doesn't help me at all. Oh, Scotland. Is it by any chance? But literature, huh? This is getting me all confused. I was gonna say, is it by any chance Lennon? But that doesn't make any
No,
sense
not
either.
Lennon.
Hmm. Gifted my birthday to a friend's daughter. I don't even know what that means, but it sounds really cute. Okay, you know what? Are there any more clues, or should I ask for more
There is one
clues?
last clue. You can still try. I
Okay.
mean, like, obviously, this is between us. No negative points. If
Yeah.
you were in one of my quizzes, yes, obviously, you would get penalized for a wrong answer, but no, not between us.
Okay. No, I don't have any guesses for now, so I'll take the last clue as well.
The last clue is this: I am the author of Kidnapped, The Black Arrow, Catriona, A Child's Garden of Verses, Treasure Island. Okay.
R.L. Stevenson.
Yes, it is Robert Louis Stevenson.
He was a composer.
Yes, he was.
What?
This is the reaction I get from most people. There is a website where you can get the sheet music of all his compositions, more than 100 of them.
Okay. Wow.
Yes,
Wow.
and obviously he's written a lot about the Pacific. His works include a lot of things about the South Seas. And while he was living in the South Seas, Stevenson discovered that the 12-year-old daughter of Henry Clay Ide, the U.S. Commissioner to Samoa, had her birthday on Christmas Day. And she obviously disliked this because everybody else got two set of gifts, one for Christmas, one for their birthday. She, unfortunately, because her birthday was on Christmas, got only one set of gifts. Stevenson nobly signed away all rights to his birthday to the girl. And this is one of my favorite letters by anybody ever. So, in a letter in 1891, he makes it clear as follows: I have transferred and do hereby transfer to the said AHI day all and whole of my rights and privileges in the 13th day of November, formerly my birthday, now hereby and henceforth the birthday of said AHI day, to have, hold, exercise, and enjoy in the same in the customary manner by the sporting of fine raiment, eating of rich meats, and the receipt of gifts, compliments, and copies of verse according to the manner of our ancestors. This man could write.
That is really cute. That is really, really cute.
So that was Stevenson. I'll just give you one more question from that set. This is, I think, a lot of very specific piece of trivia about this particular person. So the first clue is: while in exile, I had an affair with Frida Kahlo. Who am I?
I'm pretty sure I know this answer, but okay, I can't recall right now.
Okay. A line from a note to my wife was the basis for the title of Roberto Benigni's multiple Academy Award winning film.
Roberto
Who am I?
Benigni is Life is Beautiful.
Yes. So that came from a note this person had written to his wife. The inspiration for the title of the movie had come from a note that this person had written.
Yeah, no, that doesn't help me.
Okay. Clue number three: I was assassinated in Mexico by an ice pick wielding assassin.
I love this. But again, no, I'm still a bit lost. No idea.
And the last clue: I founded the Red Army.
The Red Army?
Yes, which would be the army of the Soviet Union.
I have no idea who founded the Red Army. Wow. Not Lenin, right?
No, not Lenin. He was a contemporary of Lenin and Stalin. He
Rasputin?
was exiled. No, 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 no. No, this was Leon Trotsky.
Trotsky makes a lot more sense.
Yes, yeah.
Okay.
So he had an affair with Frida Kahlo. He,
Hmm.
when he was in Mexico in exile, knowing that he was about to be killed by Joseph Stalin's assassins, he saw his wife in the garden and wrote, "In spite of everything, life is beautiful." And Roberto Benigni says that the title for his movie came from that quote.
Once you say it all together, I'm like, yes, I've heard all these tidbits of information in different places, but it's funny
Yes,
how you
yes.
forget it. No, but great. That's a wonderful question.
Okay, one last from my set. The last one for this, for today at least. I'll dig this up some other time, the same format. So the
Go for it.
first clue is my first scientific achievements and publications were dealing with geology. I set out on a famous voyage in order to gather geological evidence for the biblical flood. Who am I?
Geological evidence for the biblical flood. I don't think it is Cook, right?
No, not James Cook. No.
No, I don't know then. I'll take another clue.
Okay, I'll go to clue number two. I share the same birthday as Abraham Lincoln, and like him, I was a firm abolitionist. And slavery was one of the things that played a role in my conversion from Christianity to agnosticism. Who am I?
Abolitionist, not Hamilton, I'm guessing. Interesting. So this is somebody after Lincoln, or at least
Uh,
a contemporary of
or,
Lincoln.
or roughly at the same time.
No idea, no.
Okay, clue number three. In 2008, I received an apology from the Church of England 125 years after my death for their treatment of my work and I. The Vatican, however, said that my life's work was compatible with the Bible, and so no apology would be forthcoming.
The Church of England apologized, but the Vatican refused. Okay, no, I'm no clue, no clue.
And this last clue should give it away. I did not coin the phrase survival of the fittest.
Wait, I was going to say Darwin to begin with, but Darwin was going to be my absolute first guess when you said the biblical floods thing. But I did, okay, all
Yeah,
right. Well, interesting,
it is
interesting.
Darwin. It is Charles Darwin. Charles Darwin. So Darwin was originally a geologist, and the entire reason for him being on the Beagle and setting out on that journey towards the Pacific was for him to find evidence of the biblical flood.
Fun. Yeah, I should have trusted my gut on this one. Yeah, Darwin is a fantastic answer for this.
Yes,
Nice.
it's Darwin. Yes, yes. And it's your turn. Hit me with a question here.
The Pulitzers are obviously a very famous set of awards that are given every year by Columbia University for achievements in newspaper, magazine, online journalism, literature, and musical composition. By the way, in case you can't tell or the listeners can't tell, I do have a stuffed nose. So please excuse my pronunciation and my enunciation in this episode. In any case, so the Pulitzers are these awards that are given out every year. In 2020, a new category was added. 2020 was the first year that that particular category was awarded. It was announced in December
Okay.
2019. What category was added to the Pulitzers?
Is this something to do with online blogging or vlogging? Something to do with that?
No.
Is it does it have anything to do with the internet, or is it something completely different?
You could say it has to do with the internet, yes.
Okay. It's not. Please tell me there's no Pulitzer for TikTokers, right?
Not yet.
Okay. Hmm. Nope. I'm going to need some kind of clue here.
Okay, let me tell you the name of the winners in the last. Now that there have been four winners, I'll tell you the names of those winners. First one was Molly O'Toole of the LA Times, and Emily Green was a freelancer for Vice News and for others. And the award was specifically for the piece called The Out Crowd that eliminated the personal impact of the Trump administration's Remain in Mexico policy. Okay, so this was the first one. In 2021, it was given to Lisa Hagen and Chris Haxel for No Compromise, This was about the no compromise gun rights activists that eliminated the profound differences and deepening schism between American conservatives. The 2022 award was for a brutally honest and immersive profile of a man re entering society after serving more than 30 years in prison. And 2023 was an investigation that Connie Walker conducted into her father's troubled past and that revealed a larger story of abuse of hundreds of indigenous children at an Indian residential school in Canada.
So is this an award for social activism?
No.
Is it like for citizen journalists, people who are not professionals but who make like YouTube videos or their own?
No. Okay, I'm going to give you one last clue. So, because the
Okay.
awards might not, I was hoping maybe you have heard of one of these journalism pieces and that would have led you to it. But it's fine if you don't. So, I'm going to give you the last clue. And the clue is it is relevant to us.
Okay. It's relevant. Oh, the podcasting. It's a podcast basically. It's an award Pulitzer for podcasting.
The Pulitzer Prize for Audio Reporting was the
Nice.
category that was announced in December 2019 and was first awarded in 2020. It is basically awarded to distinguished reporting on a radio program, which again doesn't have to be on the internet, or podcasts, which are
Okay.
traditionally on the internet. Yes. And a bunch of these. I didn't give you the full name, so let me tell you actually. The staff of This
Mhm.
American Life was 2020, one of the biggest
Okay.
radio programs and podcasts.
Yeah.
2021, Lisa Hagen and Chris Haxel are of NPR. Again, huge.
Ah,
Uh,
okay.
2022 is staffs of Futuro Media and PRX. I've not really heard this before, but yeah.
Neither have I. Yeah.
2023 was Gimlet Media, which is also pretty famous
Ah,
in this space. Yeah.
pretty famous. Yes. Oh, nice, nice, very nice. I was just thinking of a fresh new journalism category. It didn't even occur to me to think of podcasting, which now it seems so obvious that this would be the time to have something like that for that.
And I cannot recommend it any more than I'm saying it right now, more emphatically than I'm saying right now. All of these shows obviously are great because they've also been awarded by a very prestigious whatever award ceremony, but truly worth checking out if you're really into investigative journalism. I remember listening to the Out Crowd, which is the 2021, and it is harrowing, it is heartbreaking, but it is just beautiful journalism, and they've done it so well for the audio format that you can't help but admire it. Yeah.
It's going into my list, basically my waiting list of podcasts that of the numerous podcasts that I've kept that I have to, because I keep getting recommendations from you and other people, and I've got a list. Okay, I have a question for you. My last question for this episode. We'll finish off with this, and then one last one from you. So, eight actors have been Oscar nominated twice for playing the same role. Okay, you have Kate Blanchett, you have Paul Newman, Al Pacino, Peter O'Toole, Bing Crosby, Sylvester Stallone, Judy Dench, and Barry Fitzgerald. Why or how is Barry Fitzgerald unique in this particular list?
Sorry, all eight of them have played the same role.
Yes, so I'll give you an example. For example, Kate Blanchett has played Queen Elizabeth I in two different movies, and she's been Oscar nominated for both. Al
Oh, okay,
Pacino
okay, got it,
famously
got it.
played Michael Corleone in The Godfather and The Godfather Part 2 and got nominated for both. So,
Hmm.
similarly, there are eight people who've been Oscar nominated twice for playing the same role. I'll go through the list again: Kate Blanchett, Paul Newman, Al Pacino, Peter O'Toole, Bing Crosby, Sylvester Stallone, Judy Dench, and Barry Fitzgerald. Among these eight, Barry Fitzgerald is quite unique. Can you tell me how? And it's in the context of this list, not, as how is Barry Fitzgerald unique as an actor, but in the context of this particular list, how is he unique? How does he stand out from the other seven?
It's a random guess, but was either of them maybe an animated film and a live action film, something like
No,
that?
no, no, no. He was an actor from the 40s, so no.
Unique for playing the same character twice and being Oscar nominated both times.
Oscar nominated twice for playing the same role.
Random guess, but maybe was once a supporting actor nomination and the second one was a. Lead actor nomination?
Like you're partly right, but there's something even more unique, which actually led to an entire change in how the Oscars are conducted post
Oh,
this. Okay, I think you have it. I can see the gotcha face.
was it
Huh?
in the same year, the same movie that he was nominated twice, both in supporting
Yes,
and
yes.
lead?
So yes. So Barry Fitzgerald was nominated for both Best Actor and Best Supporting Actor for the same performance in the same film in the same year.
Wait, how does that even work? Why could they not make up their mind about whether he was a lead actor or supporting actor?
You remember I told you Bing Crosby's on this list, right? So Bing
Hmm.
Crosby's on this list for playing Father O'Malley in two
Okay.
movies. One is The Bells of St. Mary's in 1945, and the
Okay.
one before that was Going My Way in 1944. Barry
Okay.
Fitzgerald was also nominated for Going My Way in 1944. So for the
Okay.
awards, you had both Barry Fitzgerald and Bing Crosby nominated for Best Actor, and Barry
Okay.
Fitzgerald was also nominated for Best Supporting Actor. He won
Okay.
Best Supporting Actor, and Barry Fitzgerald and Bing Crosby won Best Actor. And after that year, the Academy decided to change their rules so nobody could be more nominated for more than one acting role. So they had to be picked. They had to choose between Best Actor and Best Supporting Actor.
Makes sense. Makes a lot of sense. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a great question.
Just a yeah, just a fun. We always do this. I already told you what role Kate Blanchett and Al Pacino played, and what Bing Crosby and Barry Fitzgerald played. So there are four other actors on this list: Paul Newman, Peter O'Toole, Sylvester Stallone, and Judi Dench. Can you tell me which roles, iconic roles that they played, that they were, and in their cases, they've always played it in two separate movies in two different years. Can you tell me which roles they played? Let's start with the easy one. Sylvester Stallone.
Rocky, I would imagine.
Yes, Rocky Balboa in
Hmm.
1976 for Rocky, and for
Hmm.
Creed in 2015.
I was just gonna say Creed. Yeah. Right. Makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Judi Dench.
Judy Dench, I want to say probably in some Shakespearean character.
No, surprisingly not.
No. Okay, I'm going to make the same guess for Peter O'Toole. Is it a Shakespearean character for Peter O'Toole?
Yes, he's actually is a real life historical character who's appeared in multiple Shakespeare plays. So yes, you
Okay,
could
okay.
technically say.
All right. But let's talk about Judy Dench first. Judy Dench, not for a Shakespearean character. Wow, which character has she played twice? Has she played the Queen?
Which queen would be then be the question?
I want to say Victoria.
And
Again, I
you
have
would be
no
right.
context to this. Oh,
No, but
wow,
you are
that's
right.
some.
It is Queen Victoria. She played Queen Victoria in Mrs. Brown in 97, and in Victoria and Abdul in 2017.
Oh, yes, she has. Yeah, Victoria and Abdul is the movie that I have. Yeah, I didn't even know the previous one. Okay, great. Um, who are we
Peter
left with?
O'Toole,
Peter
Peter
O'Toole,
O'Toole, and Paul Newman.
Henry Five.
No, not Henry the Fifth. It is a Henry, but not Henry the Fifth.
Oh yeah, I keep forgetting these Henrys, man. Is the sixth? Is the
Okay,
fourth?
this one is Henry. This one is Henry Plantagenet, or Henry the Second, father
Second,
of Prince John and Richard the Lionheart.
right?
He won it in 1964 for Beckett, and
Mm-hmm.
in 1968 for The Lion in Winter, which is this amazing movie,
Yes,
The Lion in
right,
Winter.
right, right,
Yes.
right.
And finally, we have Paul Newman. Unless
Mm,
you're a really big film buff and a Paul Newman fan, I don't know if you'll be able to get this, but okay. So I'll tell you, it is he
yeah,
played the
you do.
character of Fast Eddie Felson
Okay.
in The Hustler in 1967, 1961, and The Color of Money with Tom Cruise in 1986. He reprised the role while, when playing with Tom Cruise, playing the
So was
role
it a
aside Tom
sequel?
Cruise. Beside
Sequel?
it, a kind of say spiritual sequel, same character, but it's not like a
Oh,
sequel. It's just the characters also appearing in The Color of Money in 1986.
right. Pretty
Fast
cool.
Eddie Felson. Yeah.
Nice.
So let's have your question, the last for this episode for today.
All right, that was a great question. I not like going into a question without a segue, so I'm going to try. Uh, this is
You're going to force a segue.
I am going to force a segue, and it's going to be painful, but you're going to sit with through this with me, Vineeth. When you win an Oscar, of course, you have to celebrate, and a lot of people like to celebrate by having a drink. So the next question has to do with drinking.
Yes.
That
No,
is
that's
my
not too far a segue. Actually, the Oscar parties are famous for a lot of booze.
Well, technically, this is not even booze, so it's just drinking like a drink.
Okay. Again, Oscar parties are also famous for having a lot of alcoholics. So maybe one of them was recovering and not decided to drink anything alcoholic. So
Probably, yes. But it's actually a lovely gray area between the two. And now here comes the question. Pharmacist Charles Elmer Hayes was the first to successfully market a commercial brand of X. He developed X in 1875 and debuted a commercial version at the Philadelphia Centennial Exposition in 1876, and then he began selling it. Hayes was a teetotaler himself, and he wanted to call the beverage Y. However, his desire to market the product to Pennsylvania coal miners caused him to call his product X, which is how we today know it. So identify X and Y. And here's a little clarification, both X and Y are technically two words. So X is two words and Y is two words. And the first word of both is the same. The second word of both is different. So what is X and what is Y?
okay, so X is the name by which we know it now, or Y is the name by which we know it now?
X is the name we know it today as. Y is what he wanted to originally call it.
Okay. Okay. Is it Jim Beam?
No. It's a more generic
Not
name
bourbon.
actually.
Oh. And he wanted to market it to coal miners.
Yes.
You said it was drink, otherwise my mind would have gone to soap because coal miners need a lot of soap at the end of their shift.
True. But no, okay.
Mm.
In this case, again, I wanted to focus on the fact that he was a teetotaler and he wanted to call the beverage Y. However, his
Mhm.
desire to market it to the coal miners of Pennsylvania caused him to call it X. And just to clarify, X is two words, Y is two words. And the first word of both X and Y is the same. The second word of X and Y is what is different.
Okay. Is this like Tennessee whiskey and Tennessee bourbon?
No. Remember, Y is the name that he wanted to call it, and he's a teetotaler himself.
Is a teetotaler. Okay. No, man, you'll have to give me some kind of clue here.
It is traditionally made using parts of the sassafras tree as the primary flavor.
Sassafras tree is the primary flavor. Teetotaler who made an alcoholic beverage.
Remember, I didn't say alcoholic beverage, I just said beverage.
Oh, wait. Is this root beer?
It is root beer. You're right. Yes, it is
Yes.
root beer.
Yeah. They call yeah, they take it from the root, right? Sarasapilla or something like that. We have something similar in India as well. I think we do have something similar.
You're right. Yes, it is also known as sarsaparilla, and it is used to make a drink of the same name, and that is the primary flavor. So that is X root beer. I'm sure you can get Y,
Okay,
but do you want to just take a guess? What is Y? What is it? That he wanted to call it
uh,
initially?
he wanted to call it root juice.
Close, but not quite.
Okay, this will be something really clever which I can't think of again. No, I can't. I can't. I don't know. I don't know what is.
I'll give
What
it
is
to
it?
you.
Put me out of my misery.
It is root tea. Just root tea.
Root tea.
Yeah.
Doesn't have the same ring to it.
Yeah, I think root beer. To be fair, I think we're just used to the idea of root beer now. Because anything else, root, any other word doesn't make sense. Root juice sounds disgusting. Root tea makes you want to throw up. I don't know. Root syrup also just is something that your grandma would tell you to have, and you would chuck it away the first instance that you got. So none of the words make sense. I think root beer is just something we've gotten used to. So maybe that's why it doesn't sound as disgusting as the rest. And the reason he called it root beer was because he wanted to market it to the coal miners of Pennsylvania, and
Yeah, who
they
wanted
would
something
be
alcoholic, right?
but so they were more likely to drink something with the name beer in it, even if it was not alcoholic, because root beer technically traditionally is non-alcoholic. Uh,
Yes. And fun fact, especially for those I don't know, because I don't think this is very common outside of South India, but Sarasapilla syrup is quite common in South India, especially in Kerala, where I'm from. Here they
okay,
just call it Nannari Sarbat or Narudindi Sarbat. So
Okay.
you'll go throughout Kerala on the roadside. You will find these small shops and small dhabas where you have people asking for soda sarbat, right? So
Mm-hmm.
which is just lemon, this the syrup of the sarsaparilla, and soda.
Okay.
Or if you don't want soda, you can have the same thing with water.
Nice.
So it's used as a sweetening agent for a lot of now. That's his humble origins. Now there are so many different shops with so many different things. So we have our own version of root beer, but we just call it sarbat. At least in Kerala, it's a completely different meaning when you go up north.
Oh, that is cool. I did not know that trivia.
Yeah. So that's all the time we have today for our regular set of questions. Aditya, before we leave, we have your question that will put keep our listeners waiting with bated breath. So, what are you going to ask them? What fiendishly devilish question will come out of your brain next?
I am gonna ask a very straightforward question since you asked us about actors who have played the same character in two movies and have been Oscar nominated for both. I'm gonna ask you
Hmm.
which actor has been overlooked for playing the same character multiple times and
Okay,
by the awards, by these prestigious awards. And that is an answer you shall find out in the next week's episode.
so we shall. Before we leave, there is the question that I asked at the beginning of the episode about Henry Irving, who was an actor, the first actor to be awarded a knighthood. His manager was a writer, and in one of his novels, the titular character was partly based on the actor Henry Irving. I had asked who his manager was and which character did he base off Henry Irving. Aditya, do you have any idea?
I have no idea. No, I have absolutely no clue.
Okay. Shall I give you a clue about the character? See if you can guess.
Sure.
It's a character which has been played by Gary Oldman, Leslie Nielsen.
Something like Dracula?
Yes, it is Dracula.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So it was Bram Stoker. Bram
Bram Stoker, right,
Stoker,
right, right,
the
right.
author of Dracula, was Henry Irving's manager, and he partly based the character of Dracula on Henry Irving.
Nice, nice.
Yeah.
Recently, a character also played by Nicolas Cage. Saw a movie
Yes.
trailer.
Oh, yes. How could I forget? Yes, yes. In there's a book by Barbara Belford called Bram Stoker: A Biography of the Author of Dracula. And in that, she quotes, somewhere in the creative process, Dracula became a sinister caricature of Irving as a mesmerist and depleter, an artist draining those about him to feed his ego. It was a stunning but avenging tribute. And with that bombshell, that's all for this episode. Thank you for listening in. We hope you enjoyed the show and learned something new. If you liked what you heard, please consider subscribing to our podcast and leaving us a review on your favorite podcast platform, wherever you're listening to us now. It helps us reach a wider audience and allows more people to discover and enjoy the show. We'd also love to hear from you feedback, suggestions, trivia, suggestions for theme episodes, also perhaps. You can reach us on Instagram at Are You Quizzing Me? We appreciate your support and look forward to sharing more episodes with you in the future. Aditya will be back after the musical sting with our fact check, our official cover, our access document. And that's all from me, and have a great day.
See you guys next week. And here's the fact check for the episode. The movie The Color of Money is a direct sequel to the movie The Hustler. Nannari Sharbat is made from Indian sarsaparilla, whereas root beer is traditionally made from Mexican sarsaparilla, also known as Jamaican sarsaparilla or Honduran sarsaparilla. Both plants, while related, are two distinct species. And that's all for the fact check.